This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, we discuss protagonist hair.
But we already knew I was the protagonist. I have pink hair.
You do have
Oh, yeah.
Who's the protagonist? Look for the one with the wildest hair. Well, it's not you and me.
It's not me by a long shot.
We poorly explain the plot of Comey Can't Communicate.
So it's like a snakes on a plane kind of situation.
No.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And we talk about Josee, the tiger, and the fish.
Mexico.
Josee.
Josee.
This young woman who calls herself Josee.
Ava launch!
Tetsuo! Kaneda!
It's over 9,000!
Nani?
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi!
Kawaii-Fi Radio!
Konnichiwa and welcome. You're tuned into Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast we dive into the world of anime and manga every fortnight. I'm Kyle, and joining me are my co-hosts, Aaron.
Yeah.
And Emma as well. We dragged her back.
I never thought I'd come back.
Kicking and screaming. There was some rope involved.
Yeah.
So as it turns out, we'd planned this episode last fortnight about going to see a film, and we went as a team. And then the team got sick.
The whole team, everybody.
Pretty much everyone.
I didn't, because I didn't go.
Yeah,
Hey.
But you then went and saw it later. Now, because of that meant that Kenny, who went with us, couldn't see it. Fafa, who went with us, couldn't see it. And that obviously meant that we were like, oh, what we're going to do. So most of them being sick and having a little less to talk about, today's going to be a bit of a shorter episode this time around. So Emma's been called in to help because otherwise me and Aaron will just sit here and be like, oh,
We'll just make terrible jokes. Terrible jokes the entire
bros
episode.
being guys.
Just a couple of guys being guys. We're going to
uh,
talk about manly things, powerful things.
While sitting
protein
in what is
shakes.
essentially my closet.
Yes.
Hey, look, just because we haven't come out of the closet yet doesn't mean you have to shame us.
This place is nice. It's a nice closet.
It's a nice closet. The clothes really dampen the noise. So, and you wouldn't, like, for those who have watched YouTube videos, you wouldn't know that was recorded in a closet.
Yeah, that's
but,
true.
Well, it's not a closet. It's a very small second bedroom.
Yes.
But that may change in the future, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, we have completely digressed. What a surprise. This episode, we are talking about Josee the Tiger and the Fish. It's a anime film, which landed in Australian cinemas the last couple of weeks, so we went to check it out. Unsurprisingly, with there not being much at the cinemas at the moment, we went on a Wednesday night session, and it was chockers.
Oh, absolutely.
It was full. So
Midday Cinema Club is really not for me, hey.
Midday Cinema Club.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
I can't do it.
Well, because you feel really tired after you go in.
Yes, like movies are a nighttime experience.
Or at least afternoon.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I don't know. You guys went at like 8 o'clock, and I'm pretty much a bird. So if the sun is up, I am up. If it is not, I am not.
So we're on opposite rosters then.
Yeah.
You won't catch me before the sun goes down. I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
And I'm halfway between each of your rosters. There you go. And that's just because I'm lazy. No.
Hey, dude, sleep is great.
Sleep is amazing. But look, this episode we decided we are going to just kind of focus on Josee the Tiger and the Fish. We will obviously do our usual stuff as well, but no second segment, and we'll see if we can maybe pull another mini episode out of the hat over the next week if everyone's feeling a bit better. But if not, we'll tell you what's going on after that anyway. Now, if you are enjoying what you've heard so far, and albeit it's a bit different from usual,
And all over the place.
and we can hear the cat scratching at the door to be let in because he's we'll let him in because now
That's some
everyone's
quality content right
that's
now.
some top tier content. Like
Oh, hi, baby.
if you could see the little boy coming in, he's like, oh hello, what's going on in here?
Everyone signs up for the cat.
Everyone signs up for the cat. That's where
Yeah.
it goes.
Subscribe to our Patreon for more cat content.
Top tier cat content. Yes.
Uncensored cat photos. Oh, no, wait, that's
Only
our-
cats.
Yeah.
Now, we are releasing monthly anime videos on YouTube channel as well. So if you are one of our many wonderful podcast listeners, it would be greatly appreciated if you could head over our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button as well. You can find all the links in the episode description. Also, if you do want to support the channel, we have a Patreon with additional content you might want to check out, but we'll talk more about that later in the program. There's still plenty to talk about this episode, but we need to get pretty much stuck straight into what we're watching.
I have no idea how old I am or where I came from. Daddy! Ohio!
Take time! I gotta go!
I have to know. Hooray! I did the thing.
Oni-chan, nani wo miru?
What we're watching.
Well, as usual, there's a lot to watch, and unusually, I've not been watching much of it.
What?
You've been a busy boy.
I have been very busy the past fortnight. Like, I know
Yeah.
we always joke about, we've been so busy. I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
But that didn't mean I didn't get a chance to read something.
Yes.
Well, it's
Ah.
also similarly tied into Josee the Tiger and the Fish, because
There's books in that.
the reading is a big part of that movie.
Reading is a thing that people do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to go from the top and talk about it. I've been reading Komi-san Can't Communicate, which I've mentioned in passing a few times because the anime's coming out, and I'll probably do a video on it once the anime does come out. But it's actually quite well done.
Well, I feel like since it is Komi-san Can't Communicate, by reading the manga, you're not really missing out on much.
No.
But I don't know anything about it.
Well,
What is it?
it's about this girl who can't communicate.
Real? Oh my god! So it's like a snakes on a plane kind of situation.
no.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, well, the premise of it's quite simple. There's a girl who's a stunning beauty, but everyone thinks she's aloof and cold to everyone around her. But the fact is that she just is inept at communicating with others. And a guy from the class who's his name's Tadano-kun, which is actually a pun to just be ordinary guy, his name means. And puns are
Wow.
a big part of this, actually.
Oh, hello.
Yep, right up your street, Aaron. So he ends up discovering that she can't communicate, and they eventually build a friendship. And he discovers she wants to make 100 friends, and that's her goal.
Oh,
And then
boy.
once that's unveiled, you then discover why things have seemed so strange. Because every single person in this school is weird.
Okay, so it goes from Komi-san can't communicate to how can we fix the quirkiness of this entire damn school?
No, it goes from Komi can't communicate now that to Komi wants to make friends, but all of her friends are going to be weirdos.
So it's like
or just
Comey can't communicate, but also how the heck is everybody else doing it because they're so weird?
Yep. So everyone's name is a pun on the character archetype they're meant to be. There's a yandere girl, and her name is a pun on her being a little yandere. You know, she's a little bit on that way. There's a really fiery girl who's athletic, and her name is a pun on fire. And the same sort of thing. So everyone's name is a pun on their quirk.
Oh, okay.
And Komi's name is actually a pun on communicating.
Wait. A pun on their quirk. So this is my hero?
No. Personality quirk, not manifested quirk.
Oh, come on, give me something.
Yeah. But yeah, look, it ends up providing some really funny, silly little moments that everyone gets stuck into. Like the yandere girl kidnapping the main guy and him being in her closet when Komi's invited over for the first time.
Oh, so that's what's happening here.
Yeah. That's exactly what's happening right now. Don't look
Gotta
behind
cry
the
for help.
clothes. Don't look behind the clothes.
I don't want to make 100 friends.
No,
That's a lot of people.
it's a lot of effort.
It's not many people.
Well, I think that's a lot of people.
100 people in one space is a lot. But like, if you have 100 friends, they could be all over the world.
Oh yeah, like
I guess.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, the story is a lot of fun, and when this does get animated, it's going to be really well done by the looks of that preview trailer. It's very, like, despite Komi not communicating well, there's basically two styles to how she's drawn. There's the, beautiful line art one where she looks like a distinguished figure, like this beautiful, elegant sort of Japanese beauty style of character. And then there's the character you see most of the time, which is where hardly any of her face is drawn. It's just the big eyes. And it's a sort of a comedy. It's her sort of shell shock to situations, or with cat ears in that same sort of thing to show her emotions.
So, like, what's her deal?
She's socially awkward, and it comes from her father.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Her father is identical. Her brother also is identical, and her mum is the polar opposite.
Chatty Box.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever that
look,
family dynamic is, it works.
I do love those couples.
Yeah.
You know? They're like the straight one and then like the wacky one.
Yeah.
That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite kind of tropes.
Yeah.
I was going to say we're not a trope.
We're not a trope. We're both wacky.
We're both wacky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whack 'em all.
But yes, look, that Komi-san Can't Communicate has been released by Viz Media worldwide. Definitely worth checking out if you can get a hold of the copies. At the moment, they're pretty hard to come by, but they're definitely worth checking out. I believe Viz also has it available digitally to read as well. So, look, if you want a good sort of comedy series which is set in a school and is slice of life, but heartwarming and not, it's going in a direction, but it doesn't feel boring.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Horimiya.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of like Horimiya, just a longer burn. And there's 300 and something chapters out.
And it focuses more on the main characters rather than just
Everyone else. Yeah. Like Horimiya's manga kind of diverted off and just looked at all the side characters for 100 chapters. And everyone in the fan community calls it the nuclear winter because it was during winter of the school year.
Whoa.
And it just lasted for ages.
Yeah.
But look, worth reading if you want. Now, you've been going back in time, Aaron, to have a look at a classic.
Oh.
So far back in time.
And I don't think this is going to catch anyone off guard. So please, what have you been watching?
I've been watching the original Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like, when I run out of things to
Like,
watch, I need
Baby Goku.
Yeah, Baby Goku.
Oh, and the Red Ribbon
Yeah, and the
Red
Red
Ribbon
Ribbon
Army.
Army and
Yeah.
Emperor Pilaf and all of that.
memories.
Yeah. Well, I never watched it when I was younger, so this is
You see, neither did I.
yeah,
Actually.
because we didn't really have access to it.
No, like I think in Australia, because we got Dragon Ball Z
Yes.
straight up.
Straight off
We
the
did
bat.
get Dragon Ball for a period on Cheese TV.
Yeah.
Original Dragon Ball.
I think it just didn't do as well because it's more story orientated than fight orientated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember seeing some of it at some point,
Yeah.
but I only know tidbits.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not really that memorable because, like, Dragon Ball Z, you go, oh, the fight with Frieza, the fight with Cell, it's got those
The
big...
arcs are like infamous.
Yeah, but with Dragon Ball, it's like little bumps on a long road. And yeah, it's been so much fun going back and watching that because now I actually get to experience it, and it's a long enough series that it keeps me entertained when I watch all of this week's episodes of everything else. Because you run out of stuff to watch, and
You
do.
Surely the nostalgia of it would just be so heartwarming as well.
That too.
That would keep you going.
The intro song gets me every time.
Oh, Headshot? No, it's not
No,
Headshot.
it's
That
not
was C.
Headshot.
It was the other one.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon.
No,
No, that
that's
was
Z.
Z.
Oh.
So
Yeah, that was the
what's the
English
other
and
one?
Japanese ones.
So for Dragon Ball Z, you've got Headchala, which is the Japanese version.
God, I
It's
love
an
that
absolute
song.
bop.
Yeah, but then we
Oh,
got here
legendary.
Dragon Ball of Dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
I
It's
think
so
it's
silly.
Dragon Soul, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it's called, Dragon Soul. It's good.
It's really
Why is
good.
it not called Dragon Balls?
Because that's too on the nose. And it's capturing the dragon's soul.
Okay.
It's an intimate series.
Okay.
It's very intimate, with Oolong stealing knickers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and bodysuits and Yamcha not being able to talk to girls.
Yeah. I feel bad for Yamcha. I actually read the have you read the Reincarnated as Yamcha short form doujin that was written?
No, I haven't.
So a guy got permission from Akira Toriyama to release this as part of a celebration of, I think it was 25 years of Dragon Ball.
Wow.
And Shonen Jump published the 4 chapters of it. And it's basically a character's isekai'd into Dragon Ball, into Yamcha during Dragon Ball.
During Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball. And
wow.
he's a massive fan of the series and knows that if he doesn't shape him up, he's going to die.
Oh, terrible.
It's actually really good.
Okay, but
because it
Yum-
sounds like a fan fiction,
It kinda
like a
is.
Mary Sue fan
Well,
fiction.
it was done as like a story to like celebrate how big of an impact Dragon Ball had on the shonen genre. And the guy who does it, it's good, but he gets to a point where he, reaches his full potential and he can't go any further.
Yeah.
But
well-
then he discovers there's another person who's been isekai'd,
Oh.
and they meet up.
Oh.
Turns out it's a time loop. If you die, you start again.
Oh,
This guy's
no.
been through it a lot of times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then,
no.
they hated each other to start with, and they start fighting and all that, and then they eventually end up bonding over their love for the franchise.
Oh,
and
that's
then
sweet.
end up discovering a way
Yeah.
to get home. It ends up as a really good sort of like a love letter, if you will, to the Dragon Ball culture and why so many people fell in love with it, because they could see themselves as the characters.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now you got me. That
Okay,
sounds,
yeah,
Yeah.
now I'm
that
interested.
sounds
'Cause,
super
like,
sweet.
if it had just been, oh yeah, I'm living Yamcha's life, like,
Yeah.
here's the arc. Okay, like, Cyberman got me, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually beats the Cybermen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he takes down what's his name, Nappa.
Oh, damn.
But then Vegeta, obviously, much higher power level, and the only reason he can take down Nappa is because he knows Nappa's moves beforehand.
yeah.
So he's not powerful enough.
No.
But yeah, it's really good. It's
Well,
really good.
it's like Dragon Ball FighterZ Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of people who play as Yamcha because he's good if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In this story, he goes to Namek well before they're meant to go to Namek because he knows where the spacecraft is. So he goes straight to Namek, gets his power unleashed to maximum level, and comes back before
By
the
Elder Guru,
Saiyans
yeah.
roll up. Yeah. And he goes up and goes, the guy's like, how did he know you were here? It's like,
Yup.
be quiet now.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball's on everything now, isn't it?
Well, I've been watching it on, I think it's Anime Lab,
Yeah.
which is now Funimation.
Yeah, that whole mess, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, if you haven't seen the original Dragon Ball, it's a very different take.
Way different. So don't go into it expecting action. Expect, like, if you've ever heard of Journey of the West, it's that.
Yeah, Journey to the West was a massive, massive part of Japanese culture.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge, like, story.
And Chinese culture, for that
Yeah.
matter. Like, it's a story which ended up on both continents quite comfortably.
That's Monkey, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most common telling of it, yeah.
That is such a good show.
Which is why Goku has the monkey tail.
yeah.
And it's why he also has the extendable pole,
Yes.
and why
Yeah.
he has the flying,
Flying
nimbus.
Nimbus,
And
yeah.
then- Yep, clap.
All from that tail.
Yeah.
And because, Japan do not care about copyright.
Yeah. Well, that's why they've also got Oolong, who's supposed to be Pigsy. Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
That's great. Alrighty, now
My turn.
Emma's been watching something that I watched many years ago and forgot about how it ended, and then recommended it to her.
Is it Metabots?
No, but now I want to watch Metabots. I remember the Metabots game, but anyway, it's
My Yoiga, The Lost Village. Boy, is that a ride. Like, the theory of the first 3 episodes, that's how you capture your audience.
your 3
Yeah.
episode rule. Yep.
Did it hook me in those 3 episodes? Yes. And it was like, Kyle, I'm pretty sure you could hear me from the living room going, oh!
Yep.
Oh no! Oh no! No! I don't. What is that? Because he said you told me it was like a psychological kind of thriller.
Yeah.
No, those first 3 episodes are like straight up horror.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, like a body floats down a river, and I'm like, where's that guy been? What
Oh,
happened?
hey, look at the time. I gotta go.
Yeah. Now, just because we are talking about something that might seem at first glance age inappropriate,
Yeah.
no one dies.
No one dies.
Other than that body floated down the river.
That's not a body. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
he's fine.
It's a piece of tofu.
Yeah, he's chill.
I mean, I know that's a bit of spoiler for it, but I can't actually recommend watching it.
I wouldn't look. I was thinking about it. Today, and if I was to rate it out of 10, I'd pretty much give it like a 6.5, which might seem a little harsh, but it gets really tedious. There's some characters out of the 30.
Yeah.
So
It's cast of
I should explain the
thousands.
premise.
Yes. Good plan.
A group of maybe 20 people get on a bus and they're headed to Nanaki Village, which is like a secret hidden village.
In the leaf?
No.
It's not Naruto.
Oh, come on.
We've talked about this.
And they find this kind of bus tour online, and they all are pretty much wanting to leave their old life behind. And when they arrive in this village, they expect it to be, this sort of paradise and somewhere they can restart everything. Money has no value anymore. They can just do what they whatever want. There's no law. But the village is abandoned,
Ooh.
yet well maintained.
Spicy.
Spicy indeed. Yeah. And they're all kind of like, cool. And they just happily move in. And then they all start hearing, a bear in the woods.
Yeah, they find bloody claw marks in the forest.
Wait, isn't that a similar premise to the Citadel from Mass Effect? They just find it and it's well maintained.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. That is a plot point for it, so yeah, go figure.
Yeah, so they hear like bear noises and, and it's not until later down the track that they all realize that not everyone's hearing a bear. Some people are hearing laughter.
But basically there's a few mishaps on the way. They get there. The first 3 episodes, all this drama as you're introduced to like 30, 20 characters on a bus. And
so many people.
It's not great.
It
had the potential.
It had a lot of potential, but unfortunately it didn't have the budget. So it's only 12 episodes. So I smashed it out in like 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So you can just kind of sit there and watch it all. But a lot of the characters actually aren't explored, and there is no reason for them being there. There is no plot around them at all. Like there's a sexy lady, but she doesn't do anything. We don't see her backstory. We don't know why she's there. She doesn't do anything, sexy that you'd think, might convince other people to come to her side or do whatever she wants, but none of that. We don't get anything. She's kind of like Chekhov's gun in that sense, If you introduce something and then you don't use the thing, what's the point of the thing?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of characters in this story that are like that.
Pretty much half the cast.
Yeah.
So 10?
10 to 15.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if they had a bus of 15 people going to a town, it'd feel a lot emptier. So maybe those extra 15 are there just to balance it out.
Yeah.
I just think it would have been a more rounded show if they were able to share everyone's backstories and use that as plot devices rather than just...
And this is an original anime as well, so Dai Media were the studio behind it. And when it's an original, you rarely get more than 12 episodes. There are exceptions to the rule, especially if it's something that's like Megalobox, for instance, because it had a big heritage attached to it and the team behind it. But a lot of them aren't great. Like we saw it with the tennis one.
Prince of Tennis?
No, it was like something between the stars or something like that. It's boys playing soft tennis. Original series, drama heavy. It was meant to be 24 episodes. The guy planned it to be 24 episodes. It got halfway through production, told actually you're only getting 12.
Yikes.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and he's still been fighting for the past 3 years to try and find a way to get the rest of it out. Problem is that once it's done, people forget about it.
Yeah. So this, basically everyone has their own monster in this show, but because they only focus on about 5 to 8 people, that's all you see. So you see maybe 5 like monsters, then you have like 10 to 15 other people who are just there and never have any grief or anything. There's no character development for them. There's no conflict for them. They're not involved in any major plot device or plot point. They're just
They're living their best life.
For like 3 episodes, they're literally just lying around. So
That's how I spent 3 episodes.
Just lying around?
Look.
So look, you're not far off the consensus on it. It's on a 5.5.
Oh, wow.
On my anime list from 95,000 votes. And most of the reviews do kind of either that someone loves it or they utterly hate it. Like, it's very divisive.
Polarizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
And look, I'll be honest, if I was going to recommend like a psychological horror or something to someone, this wouldn't be it.
It'd be Higurashi?
Yeah, it'd be something like Higurashi or anything along that sort of vein where the story's well developed and well planned out.
Yeah.
Whereas because this had a manga written after it aired, and it's on the same rating.
Well,
so they don't expand any further in the manga.
Like I said, the first 3 episodes are really good, and then I just needed to know what happens. But I was annoyed for the last 9 episodes.
Yeah.
And then the ending was very lackluster.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
So
Well,
it's up to you, listeners.
I wouldn't.
Mayo Iga 5 out of 10. The Lost
yeah.
Village. Well, if you have been watching anything this fortnight, drop it in the comments. We'd love to know what you guys are checking out as well. Same thing with the mangas go. If you found an interesting series that you reckon we should be talking about, let us know as well. And with that, let's kind of get on to our main topic of discussion.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
We'll be there on time. There's 20 minutes of ads.
Cinema Club.
Oh, there was 20 minutes of ads this time. And they're all...
Only 20?
They were very targeted. They were
yeah.
very, very targeted.
At the movies.
Yep.
Yeah. They were anime ads.
Oh,
They were
okay.
anime ads, or one of the banks here has the same ad in 4 different people playing it. So they've got, it's about, a guy arrives in Australia, and then his family member or friend who's been here for 10 years already picks him up and takes him on. But they've got one where they've got...
You know the one?
Yeah, I know
so
that.
they've got one where they've got a guy from India who does it. They've got a guy who's come from Southeast Asia who's done it. They've got one for Africa as well. And then they've got, the plain old white people one as well. And
The mayonnaise.
depending on what movie you go and see, will depend on what ad you get.
Does it have the same voiceover for each of them? Because I've only seen the Southeast Asian one.
No, it's
Yeah,
different
I've only
voice.
ever seen that one as well.
I've seen the Indian one when I went and saw a Bollywood film, and I've only seen the African one being used online as an advert. I
Okay.
haven't seen it at the cinemas because I haven't seen any African films recently.
Hmm.
It's just kind of like I get what you guys are trying to do, but it also comes across as disingenuous.
Oh, you know what is really annoying? I actually quite like that ad.
Yeah.
I think it's really cute.
Same.
I
It's a
like
really
how
cute ad.
at the end, he's the one looking after the
Yeah,
new
he's
person
teaching
coming
his
into the
friends,
country.
yeah.
We're not sponsored by Combank, and you probably shouldn't go with them based on my experiences, actually. So there you go.
Yeah.
But it's a good ad.
Yeah.
But their
it's
marketing
a
department
heart-touching
is
ad.
working schmick.
Then whoops, that wasn't meant to be a record scratch, but we'll take it. It worked really well. But look, let's talk about what we did actually go and see at the cinemas, and it was Josee, the Tiger, and the Fish.
And the Pussycats.
Josee, yes, the Tiger and the Pussycats. It's a 2020 anime film done by Studio Bones. It's a romance drama comedy. Now, I'm not too sure on that last one. I didn't really laugh out loud at it
I
at
don't
all.
see the comedy at
No,
all.
there was definitely no laughing out loud moments, but there was kind of like chortle moments.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, like a.
Well, she was sassy.
She was sassy.
So
Oh,
every
yeah.
now and then she'd say something that I'd be like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
You know?
Yeah, but I think that's like you wouldn't exactly describe Marvel films as comedies, except for what do you
Guardians.
call it? Guardians of the
Guardians.
Galaxy.
And that's why Guardians is my favorite.
Exactly, but like in Thor, they put elements of comedy, and they did the same in Captain America and Iron Man.
In the third, they put in elements of comedy.
This is true. The
yeah,
third
the
Thor film
Taika
was.
Waititi.
The
yeah.
first
That's
two
because-
was not good.
That's because Taika's a god.
Oh yeah,
Now
of thunder.
Please, he's a Māori.
he's a Maori.
Yeah, everything they touch is gold.
Does that mean I'm gold?
Yes,
Maybe.
Excellent. maybe.
gold
Okay.
plated.
Anyway, so Josee, it's directed by Kotaro Tamaru. It's his first film as a director, but it's not his first time as a director. He was also directed 2014's Noragami series for Netflix. It's not well known. It's to do with like basically gods being in Tokyo, sort of thing, but not comedy.
Is it the Jesus Buddha one?
No.
Ah,
No, that's great. That we need to watch that in full and then do an episode on it.
When you
Yeah.
say Japanese gods in Tokyo, I immediately just thought of Gantz.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
not
no,
like
no,
that.
It's not like that?
No,
we would not do an episode on Gantz.
no, we will do an episode on Gantz for the Patreon.
Hey.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's a safe space, and
Ooh, let's do a horror one for the Patreons.
So like for the
I'll be there.
I was going to say
Yeah, I'll
for the
be pacing
Halloween
out.
I'll see
episode,
you
we
there.
have the PG episode for the
Yeah.
normal episode and the horror one for the Patreon. But look, Noragami was interesting. I'm going to go back and check it out if I can find it. I hope it's still on Netflix's service. But it's the actual film itself is based on a Japanese short story of the same name by Seiko Tanabe. She was a pretty big writer in Japan. Like she wrote a lot of sort of classic books, but she's not prolific. She hasn't got tons. I think she's got about 15. And that was written in 1984.
Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah. Since then, there's been a 2003 live-action film in Japan, and obviously they take elements from the story, which are similar to what we saw on the screen. And then a South Korean one in 2020, which is just called Josee. Josee.
I would like to see that.
And then the
Yeah.
Mexican one called Jose.
Yes. Why did I not bring the taco in?
Wow.
We've got a taco attached to the fridge that Emma
a
got
good
for a
one.
birthday card, where you press it and it goes do 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 do.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that thing so much, and I'm
It
probably
really
going to
does.
destroy its battery by how much I use it.
Yeah.
But look, I don't think this is going to be a film for everyone,
No, I don't think it'd be
Nah.
a film for everyone.
Nah, straight up no.
because it's
Because
look,
I'm on the fence about it.
same.
Like, Don't get me wrong, I cried. I enjoyed it as a love story.
Yeah,
But I don't think I'd go back. Like, if somebody was like, oh yeah, we've got all these movies, I would never pick Josee off the shelf.
Yeah, true.
yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because the artwork is nice.
Oh, I love the art
The
style.
character lines are a lot more rugged, sort of like traditional hand drawn, which is
Yeah.
really nice as a
I think
contrast
it's
to the backgrounds.
beautiful.
You can definitely tell they had two different teams
You
working
can,
on backgrounds
yeah.
and characters because the backgrounds are done very almost painted, and then the characters are very drawn, and there's a distinct difference if you're looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're not looking for it, you can kind of blend them together, but
Yeah.
otherwise it's...
But they are definitely different teams. That's typical. Like usually you outsource your in-between cells and your background cells to another studio.
There are spots of CGI,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
they meld quite nicely.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
surprisingly they weren't jarring.
Yeah, they just used them for really specific scenes. So there's one scene where we're at Josee and her grandmother's house, and the way that the camera kind of tilts around the front door kind of makes it. To me, that's the kind of shot that you would have with a diorama.
Yeah.
So it had a different kind of 3D feel to it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, they do a lot of interesting sort of film style stuff in it as well. But I guess we should probably tell you what this film's about.
What is it about?
It's about Josee, a tiger, and a fish. The
Oh,
tiger eats
I
the
see.
fish and then goes after Josee. No,
Oh, I was going to say it's a food chain.
it's the food chain. No, so Tsuneo, a ordinary college student and avid diver, unexpectedly becomes the caretaker of a wheelchair-bound young woman in order to raise money for his dream to go diving in Mexico and study over there. This young
Mexico.
Josee.
Jose.
This young woman who calls herself Josee, Josee, after her favorite book character is sullen and demanding, I'm just going to call him Tsuneo, helps Josee interact with the outside world and learns more about Josee's unique perspective. Their feelings grow into love. The two begin to support each other in ways beyond just romance. Now, I don't agree with those last two lines at all. I think that's really taken a big leap there. Because learn more about Josee's unique perspective, not really.
No, not at all.
No. No,
Hey,
are you
No.
talking about the last quarter of the film?
No.
Kind of. Well, he's kind of forced to learn that perspective
Yeah.
by...
No, he does. He refuses that perspective.
He does,
He
but...
doesn't learn anything about it. Like he just learns about how to overcome it
Yeah.
rather than and keep moving towards his dream rather than, appreciating the life that he still has despite the fact that he is basically where she is in life.
Mm-hmm.
So-
So the story deals with a lot of themes to do with disability, and it also showcases, the problems Japan has with how disabled people are treated.
Yeah.
A lot of people will interact with them as if they should be able-bodied, which is, incredibly problematic. And, for any of our listeners who are in that situation, my deepest respects to you guys for doing what you do. It takes a lot to be as strong and willing as you guys
Oh,
are.
actually, watch the film and then write in and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a good portrayal? Is it a bad portrayal? I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard for us to know. But look, the characters are pretty well drawn. Like, they're diverse. They're not all, cookie cutter,
No.
which is really nice.
He is what I affectionately call the Onho character. The oh no, he's hot one.
Okay, see, to me, he just looks like Haru from Free.
Well, straight up, he's Haru from Free.
Actually, yeah, they both like swimming.
Yeah.
We see them
Brunette,
in the
blue
ocean.
eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's straight up the same dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's cookie cutter. Josee, or her actual name, which is Yamamura Kumiko, definitely doesn't kind of fit in with a lot of the traditional characters that we see. She does remind me of the girl from the sort of mystical series for a couple of years ago. It's a girl who's got a prosthetic leg, prosthetic arm, and a missing eye. A solid eye, and it's to do with Japanese folklore. Like she gave part
sick.
of her body to communicate with the folklore, like the folk speeches and all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really interesting series.
See, she kind of reminded me of Haru Okanumura from Persona 5 because they've got similar hair.
Similar haircut. Yeah.
Well, see, because of the hair, I was thinking of Marnie was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of fluffy, pretty.
Okay, I guess we've got to take it back. They're all cookie cutter
They're all
characters.
good. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
but
it
just
does.
because they're cookie cutter characters does not mean they're not good characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, look, I mean,
cookies are delicious.
Exactly.
I would not be this big if they were not. But you've got them. They're the two main characters. Alongside them, you've got Josee's grandma, which is Yamamura Chizu, and his work friend, Ninomiya Mai, and Matsura Hayato. Now, Mai has a crush on our main character.
It's very obvious from
It's
the start.
very
So
obvious.
there's that's no spoilers.
She's kind of hoping that he'll one day call her my lover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine.
My lover?
What about My Valentine? It's not subtle at all.
Yu-Gi-Oh episode?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh episode time. But look, it's her stance is that she's not going to approach him because she knows his dream is to go to Mexico and do his, uni degree over there and so on.
Travel abroad.
And she's just quietly suffering I'm fine.
Yeah.
kind
Never
of-
mind that scene on the boat where she's like angled perfectly and talking to him.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, no dude could miss that signal.
No.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
By the way, she was in a bikini because they had just been diving and she had taken a wetsuit off.
But look, you've got those two, and then for Josee, you've got the librarian Kishimoto Kana, who, in my opinion, is the best female character.
Oh,
in this
straight up.
entire film.
Hands down, best character.
I love her.
Give
She's
me a movie
so
about
wholesome.
her.
Yeah, I'd love a movie about a librarian.
Yeah.
And
I-
cute
I
as
don't know
hell.
how you
Books
do
to
it,
kids and
but
Yeah.
like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
people you meet day to day.
Yeah,
I used
it'd
to be a
complex.
librarian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went
Oh,
to.
that explains a lot.
That's why you're so good with kids.
Yes, I used to work at a library.
It's why you're the best character on this podcast right now.
Oh, thanks. That's so sweet.
No offense, Aaron. That's also a self-burn.
But we already knew I was
I'm
the
just gonna go
protagonist.
for it.
I have pink hair.
You do have.
Oh,
pink
yeah.
hair. It's like who's the protagonist?
Sorry, y'all.
Look for the one with the wildest hair. Well,
Yeah.
it's not you and me.
It's not me by a long shot.
I was gonna say unless we have the massive shing for your
Yeah.
head, just like with One Punch Man, it's
Yeah.
not gonna really work.
No.
See, this is what happened. You trained so hard at being an anime man and all that you've gone bald.
Oh, no, I was going to say I'm the Spiral King from Gurren Lagann.
Oh, that works too.
Beard, bald, dad, done.
Done. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. That's true. But-
Achievement.
so look, the film. I know we're kind of bagging on the film a bit. I think this is a film that's worth seeing once,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not something you're going to want to own on home media.
No, it's not something you're going to want to rush to see, and whether you or not you see it in the cinema is entirely up to you, but like if you are going to see it in the cinema, maybe take a special someone,
Yeah.
like have a nice romantic evening, dinner, the movie, and then, talk about it
Yeah, that's
afterwards.
true.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be a good date night film.
Yeah.
I took Aaron and Kenny.
Yeah. Great date night.
Great night.
Hey, you tried to take me, and
I
I,
tried to take you.
said, "Baby, you're on your own."
Well, you were just like, it
I'm
starts
going
at
to
8
bed.
o'clock. But look, I mean, this is a film that isn't perfect.
No,
It's-
but it's hard to do that these days.
It's very hard to do it. And
Yeah,
there-
nothing's perfect.
There are.
Except for me.
You don't want to be perfect because that means there's no way you can improve.
Yeah, but that means less energy I have to invest in improving.
It's too hard to maintain, man.
Yeah.
But look, there's a couple of key moments throughout the film that we kind of want to talk about without giving spoilers.
Yes, we're going to try and keep it as clean as possible.
So I think first and foremost, the pacing is not great.
No.
It takes a long time
Yeah.
to get to that final act.
And like, there's a lot of time skips, but you're not sure how long they are or what's going on or what's happened.
Honestly, I'm not even convinced that final act is needed.
No.
So a big event happens, and then it all kind of the movie almost completely changes. From that point on.
We'll call this the critical event.
Yes. Critical.
A lot of stuff has happened between Josee and Sunio, and
Sunio.
I'm butchering that name so much.
Are you trying to sing that to like studio? Studio.
Is it supposed to be studio?
It's not studio. It's studio. It's a song by Phil Collins, and I'm pretty sure.
That's the one we were
I'm
trying
pretty
to do.
sure he wrote that song, and he intended to put a different word in there, but he liked, the pacing of studio, but then he couldn't find anything to fit. So he just thought,
now it's
you
a
know
love
what?
song.
I'm Phil Collins.
I can do what I want.
We're just gonna make this work.
Well,
and he did.
Well,
Sorry.
it should have been
Tangent.
Sunio. That would have been better. But Sunio and Josee get closer. There's a few events that happen which change Josie's life, and then this critical event happens at about the 3/4 mark of the film.
Yeah, really far
Now,
downstream.
we discussed this before when we're talking about Japanese films. They don't obey the Western 3-act structure. They can have 6 acts, they can have 1 act, they can have 2. But, often we'll find that, a major change in characters will come either early in the film or late, but never in the middle.
Actually, that's a point. We should probably have a look into traditional Japanese theatre to see how
Kabuki?
they're set up. Yeah, kabuki.
Hell yeah.
Kabuki-cho.
Nice.
Now, this critical event changes the dynamic of the story. It changes the way it's going, and it also slows it down as well. Because
Yeah.
it really feels like it's dragged out. This goes for, I think, an hour and 40 minutes around that.
Something like that.
And you could probably chop 20 minutes of it out.
Well, like, not to say that the rest of the movie isn't going fast. It's like kind of cruising. But once
Yeah.
it hits that point, it's like staggering.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, what is it?
Shoot.
Is this bad?
much like Kumiko at the beginning of the movie, she's traveling fine, and then she just goes downhill fast.
Yikes. You're not wrong, but yikes.
Wow.
That is how the movie opens, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
Josee
like,
flying down a hill. It's interesting the way
in a
that
wheelchair's out of control. That's
yeah,
why.
it's
And then she glomps him.
yeah.
Oh God.
Glomping, I forgot about that. The thing which is I find a bit interesting about that scene is that idea of a scene, the downhill travel and crashing into the main character, is consistent across all the live action films. However, Josie's it's a different situation in each film. In the live action Japanese one, she's in a pram even as an adult.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, because the grandma in that film can't afford a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, the grandma's a bit more well off in this movie.
In the South
Yeah.
Korean rendition, she has a knife.
What?
Yep.
The grandma or...
Josee. And the film's just called Josee. So, it's almost like Mandy. It's
Okay, so she flies and she kills him.
No. I don't know why she's carrying the knife. I haven't watched it. I haven't been able to get access to it. But look, I mean, it's a bit of a strange thing, and the story comes pretty much full circle at the end. But I have to say, the last big conflict after that critical event is solved is dumb. It's really dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you were so upset about it that once we left the cinema, you were like, this is stupid.
Because I had an ex exactly like that.
Ah.
Yep. That kind of hit it a bit too close for me. I was just like, no, that they shouldn't be together. That's completely unfair behavior from Josee to the main character.
Yes.
But look, I mean, let's talk about some of the good things.
Some of the good things.
The animation's really nice.
Yes.
It's really smooth.
It's really heartwarming, especially seeing Josee sort of kind of grow.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like-
mean, she definitely grows, and there's that scene where, the first major event happens and she realizes she has to grow up.
Well, yeah. So her parents passed away, so her grandmother's looking after her, and her grandmother is terrified of.
Anything happening to her.
Well, she's terrified of the state of her grandchild, and she just sees her as a fragile child. So at the beginning of the film, she's in frilly dresses and isn't allowed to leave the house. And over the course of the film, with Tsuneyo's help, she does kind of, go out into the world, start realizing, I can't live like this. I actually want to be.
There's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
There's a whole load of things to do.
Yeah, so there's quite a pivotal moment where you really notice that she starts dressing nicely. The grandma does notice this at one stage, and she just bursts out with laughter because she's so happy to see
her growing.
Her growing up.
And all these characters are meant to be out of school sort of age.
They're college
age, around 20.
He's 22 and she's 24.
She's older than him.
Oh, wow.
She is, yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
May and
Hayato?
Josee. May and the librarian and Josee are the same age.
Oh, Kana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Kana and because they do mention that. And at the very beginning,
I mean, you literally saw this today. It's been a week for us.
Yeah.
Hayato does make fun of Tsuneyo at one point, saying, you can't waste your life away working all these jobs, trying to save for Mexico. You only have the summer of 22 once.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So
I
actually,
thought it was
20.
2022.
No.
Oh.
He's 22. And then, he finds out that Josie's 24. And he's like, oh, you're older. And she's like, what?
I completely missed that.
Well, she acts so much younger.
She does.
Well, because
Sorry,
she
my
was...
moustache is annoying me. So I'm
Oh,
pinching
okay. I
it,
thought there was something on my face.
No, I
Because
wasn't.
you were looking straight at me and doing it. I was like,
Yes, look at me
am I
groom
okay?
my moustache. To those looking at home, be glad you can't see me grooming my moustache with my fingers. But anyway.
We should probably explain where the tiger and the fish come in.
Yeah. So,
okay, so Tsuneyo's actually a fish. That's why he goes diving so much. He's actually a fish.
And the grandma is a tiger.
Yeah, which is why she keeps her locked into the zoo like a prison.
God.
Done and done. Okay, that's a wrap, guys.
Okay, so
Wrong.
there's a tiger at the zoo that they see repeatedly.
There's a point before that.
So the
There's a point
grandmother
before that as well.
says that everybody outside of the house are beasts.
Yes.
Tigers who are just ready to attack.
Yeah.
And that's where the tiger comes in. So
Yes.
that's why she's so afraid of tigers, and she goes to see the tiger with Tsuneyo because she's like, I'm brave with you. And he's like, ugh.
Is that why you're breaking my arm by gripping it so tight?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the fish is to do with Tsuneyo's story, to do with something that is
The clarion angelfish?
yes, the Clarion angelfish, which
Nice.
plays a very
Name drop.
important role.
Yes. I love fish and marine stuff and
I don't care for fish.
I love the aquarium. If anybody hears this and you want to take me on a special date, take me to the aquarium.
Ooh.
I will fall for you like that.
Oh.
Under the glowing lights of the jellyfish tank.
Well, on the reverse sushi train.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It is a reverse sushi train because it's a conveyor belt that people ride on that fish stare at you on.
So in Perth, our aquarium has a little conveyor belt that goes through like a tunnel built into the tank.
For our friends in the US, you might be aware that I think it's New York's aquarium or somewhere near that has a massive underground, which is, underwater sort of tube which you can walk through. Ours has a travelator in it, and it just moves you along on it like you're on a giant sushi train.
Yeah, so it's the reverse sushi train.
Yeah.
Which, it's hilarious. The world we
I'm
live
never
in.
not going to think that now.
Hey, Emma, want to go on a date to the reverse sushi train?
No, baby, I'm already a snack.
I don't want to
She
be
got you
taken.
there.
She did. Despite all these things, the music for it is really well done. The art's really well done. And if you're looking for something that's got, that romance story to it,
The heartwarming sort of.
it's good for a one time.
Yes.
It's not going to be a classic. I think it'll probably end up sitting on probably about a 7.5 on Mal by the time a lot of people have seen it, because there will be a lot of people who have detractors for it. But I think it's interesting that they've at least tried to do a film which, looks at the challenges between relationships between able-bodied and non-able-bodied people.
Yeah.
And, obviously ourselves being able-bodied, we can't comment on, what Josie's side of it would be, what could have caused her to become the way she is. That's not our place to say.
Wasn't she born with it?
No,
No,
Or
it's
is it
Maybelline.
No, I was talking about her attitude and behavior. Like how she was.
No, she was.
experienced the
Yeah,
world.
she was born like that, but I believe her attitude was mainly because of the fear her grandmother had.
Yeah.
It could be the case.
Environmental conditioning
Her-
is a crazy thing.
It
Yeah, her
is,
grandmother
it is.
kept telling her she couldn't do things, so she believed it.
Yeah.
That's the thing with kids. If you tell them that they can't do something, eventually they will believe you.
Yeah, which is really sad.
Yeah. Bigger to your
I'm
kids.
having a moment.
Yeah, I was like, you okay?
But also make sure they are well aware that it's not Final Fantasy 14 where everyone is the hero.
Screw you, I am the hero.
Alrighty, well let's look. If you want to catch it, it is in cinemas, and I believe it should be heading to. I think Madman had the rights for it here, and I think Funimation had it in the US. So I think it should eventually end up on Funimation services, just like Demon Slayer has, for instance. But we'll keep an eye out. We'll probably know more in the coming months.
Definitely watch Demon Slayer, though.
Yeah, the Demon Slayer film is great. On that note,
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
and I've just forgot that I have sitting right in front of me Kenny's take.
Oh,
Ghost
right.
Kenny.
Ghost Kenny, who is not with us because he's quite ill and his voice is just gone. So he sent through his take on Josee the Tiger and the Fish, and I'll read it to you and then we'll get on to the anime news. The film's a very typical romance plot with very typical romance drama and very typical story beats. That's not necessarily a bad thing. The characters are well defined in their goals and wants and flaws that, even if you can see exactly what tropes are about to conspire against them, you care about these people enough to want to know they'll deal with it. These people being Tsuneo and Josee. Tsuneo is a hardworking, diligent kind of guy, quiet but extremely passionate and single-minded about what he wants, and if he had any other kind of personality, he'd be the wrong sort of person to deal with Josee, who is brash and fiery and proud. And that pride makes her frustrating and insecure about her wheelchair-bound status. Thrown in an overprotective guardian that shields her from the experiencing life, and you can see how this film needs an hour and a half for the girl to mellow out and break out of her shell. He does really goes on to say the friction between these two and how they work off each other really defines the two of them, and he's not wrong there.
No, that's...
No, it really does help define the characters, and Josee is helped to all new sights and experiences by Tsuneo. I've got the song in my head now. I can't get it out. And not because he's helping her around. She shows him a number of times that she doesn't need anyone's help to actually, be mobile. But more for the fact that he's constantly there for her, someone to hold on to while facing a fear. And he goes on, says the film is quite stunning visually, and there's a particular focus on the small details and clutters that make the world feel lived in. And then there's a note here saying soundtrack. And he's right. Soundtrack was good as well. Very good.
Damn, Ken, that was good.
Yeah, just banging that one out nice and quick for us while he's hopped up on his cough medicine.
Yeah.
Was that the censored version?
No, that's pretty much what he wrote.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He did a good job.
Wow.
Right, let's talk about the things that are making anime news. Now, we did find out last night on, because we're recording Friday night this week, because we were meant to have a anime convention, a pop culture anime convention here in Perth called Supernova, which is being cancelled due to a outbreak over east, meaning the organisers cannot get over to Perth.
Miss Rona at it again.
Yeah.
Heyo.
And it seems like it might also still be playing a bit of a problem for production in anime. So the series So I'm a Spider, So What has delayed episode 24 due to production issues. The official website announced this last night. The new episode was meant to come out on Friday, and it's the 24th and final episode of the season for it. The production issues are apparently at Studio Millipence, who are the main team behind it, and they did have a lot of problems with producing this series to begin with. It was meant to come out in, I think, about 2018 originally, and then they had issues. No, not 2018. 2019. They had issues with the actual production schedule due to the other stuff they had on, and then they had coronavirus hit, so it got pushed back year by year. But they haven't reported when the new episode will be out yet.
Eventually.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, because the season's ending as well, trying to find somewhere you can quickly air it is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, because everyone's like, no, this is my dedicated slot to watch the ending of this.
Well, I mean, not even that. It's just like the way that they do TV programming in Japan is they do that 3-month block for the anime stuff, and they also have their long-running serials, news, TV shows already locked in months in advance. So when series gets delayed and a studio's already booked in it, I think we saw it with Demons Eating Kids.
Never.
Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
Promised Neverland couldn't get season 2 out in time, and then they ended up replaying all of season 1. They re-aired the whole thing in Japan because they had that time slot and they needed to fill it. And that meant that they then had to organise to take up a time slot for the following season to actually put season 2 on.
So they had extra time to make season 2 and they still screwed it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did.
I don't think it's as bad as you guys
like you
keep going on about.
Yeah, but you've watched it. I've watched it, but I've read the manga.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, but you can't,
I feel like I haven't read the manga, but I felt like that last part was so incredibly rushed. Like they opened all these plot points and they just rushed the end.
They did, and the thing is that a lot of stuff that this should have been 5 seasons.
Oh
basically.
yeah, the last episode. You mean?
Yeah.
The last episode was like 5 years.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's
It
been
was like
done.
a timeline of 5 years kind of thing in one episode. Yeah, true.
See, that there was a good 5 seasons. Like the next season was meant to be the Goldie Pond arc, which wasn't even addressed at all, and that explains how the world became the way it was. Was that ever... I can't remember it ever being addressed.
I don't even remember hearing of it.
Yeah.
Kind of, but not really.
Yeah, and then there's the bunker, which has got a whole arc involved around it, and then there's one where they go traveling on their own. Those
are both addressed.
Yeah, but they were quite lengthy and full. Emma and Ray go for a really long adventure on their own. And then the reappearance of another character isn't meant to happen until after that. There's a lot of stuff that's meant to be included in that. The whole story with Musica and, her cursed blood and all that is also meant to be like a full arc in itself.
Well, like they also brought up like the royals and stuff and then didn't do anything with them.
Well, the royals are introduced in Goldie Pond. The whole society thing's introduced there and explains why it's why the society's the way it is. But yeah, we've gone way off topic anyway.
Going back.
But yes, same thing with Soama Spider. It had those slots and it had to give them up and then wait for another one to become available so that they could actually then put the show into production based on when it was meant to air. And that 24th one, I think because Japan's gone back into lockdown and I'm pretty sure Millipence's studio is in central Tokyo, that they just can't keep up with it, obviously, and I don't blame him. The situation there is not ideal. Now, over on Netflix, Netflix is streaming the Sailor Moon Crystal series from July 1. Now, they're listing the entire anime series will begin streaming on there. The service lists that seasons of the anime will premiere on that day. They're not saying how many, so we're not sure if it's season 1 and 2 or 3 as well. Depending on how big you are on Sailor Moon, you may not like the art style change. The 3rd season changes it a lot, but still, because we talked about this last episode of Crystal.
The movie.
Yes.
Yeah, and it wasn't...
I was not a fan of the art style.
Isn't it supposed to be more towards the creator's original style, or?
Yeah, look, I mean, that... Because we've got a copy of the first volume of Sailor Moon literally right here in our hands.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely is.
Because I remember when I first heard about it, that was the pitching point. Like, it's more accurate to the original Sailor Moon.
Well, it's more accurate to the story of the original Sailor Moon, whereas the version we got in the 90s
was
and 2000s was very Monster of the Week sort of thing.
Yeah, it was very, hey, we'll take your idea, but we'll do what we want with it.
We'll juice it.
When did the manga come out?
Manga was late 80s, I think.
Yeah, because it looks very 80s.
Yeah.
It's a very, very 80s style.
Incredibly 80s.
But I'm just reading the printing notes at the back, and it says first published in 2003. So I'm like...
Oh, so this is...
Did they change this one?
What they did is this is 2 volumes in one. So up until 2003, all of Sailor Moon was done in single volume prints. So like how I've got my
so
Vinland Saga ones here, which have 3 times the amount of chapters as, say, the Nagatoro ones that are on top of it.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. So this is what would have been Volume 1 and 2 until 2003, and now it's just Volume 1.
Yeah, it's just really strange that in the printing notes they don't mention the original printing
date
at all.
Well, I guess because there never was an original printing in this format. And also, like, this is the English version as well. So when was the first English translation released as well?
No idea.
So, but I'm pretty sure Sailor Moon was like 19... I'm going to Google it right now.
Yeah, good idea.
So,
but while you do that, I'll use this as an opportunity to just cover up and make stuff up. So,
oh, here we go.
My stepdad actually collects the Akira manga.
Oh, yeah.
But he collects the individual issues.
What? Not the big ones.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he's
Oh.
got all the way through to 36 and he's just missing the last 2.
Oh.
And I was talking to my sister about it the other day and I was like, so I found like the collection mangas and she's like, oh no, Dad's already got those. He wants the weekly ones. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, they're 350 for issue 37 and 1,000 for issue 38.
Yeah.
And the reason is when it was running, it wasn't that popular. So they didn't make that many of them. So to get a hold of them now is incredibly hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But they are doing like reprints and stuff. I mean,
Yes.
it depends if he wants a reprint.
He wants the original.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
I
I
love
mean,
my dad, but...
yeah.
But
all right, so
if you're going to be a collector.
if you are, you're going to. So 1991 to 1997, the manga ran. It's 61 chapters, 18 volumes. In this particular version of it, it is now only 9 volumes in this format.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to, 10.
Yeah, I was going
in
to
the
say,
new
I thought it
version.
was 10.
But it's good. Like the manga's good. Sailor Moon Crystal depends on your taste. Like if you've never seen Sailor Moon before, fantastic. You'll probably enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
because you won't have any standards set for it.
No, you won't have any expectations. Look, it's if you haven't seen it before, Netflix July 1, you can watch all of that. Presumably, part 3 is going to be on there as well, and the 2 films which are already on there as well. So that takes you right up to the I think it was like the Dark Sailor Moon Stars. I think it was.
Can we also mention that we really appreciate the villain designs
from
the original Sailor Moon?
Oh
we were
my
looking at them
God.
earlier, and
So
man,
Some of them are
Amazing.
just nuts.
the minor villains are great.
Like, that'd be great for cosplay.
Oh yeah, hands down.
I would love
Giant
to see,
shoe.
I love the sneaker one. That was so silly.
There's some of them are just so beautiful as well.
Yeah.
They're just incredibly crafted.
They've even got what is it, Vanya from Umbrella Academy?
So she's like a violin. Yeah.
yeah.
And doesn't she? Yeah.
No. Okay, now staying with Netflix. Now I will be honest, there hasn't been a massive amount of major news because we're heading into that new anime season. All we're getting is the announcements of start dates at the moment for the new shows. But there is something coming to Netflix, another anime film that you might want to check out. Lands on July 22nd worldwide, and it's called Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop.
Yes.
Now this
That's
is done.
adorable.
It is adorable. It is done by Studio Flying Dog.
That's adorable.
Yep. Original anime film. It was due to open on June 25th in Japan, so i.e. the day of this recording. And it was delayed. It was originally meant to come out on May 15th in Japan, but obviously state of emergency, no films being released. Classic boy meets girl story with words and music helping to bridge the gap between Cherry, a boy who is terrible at communicating with other people, and Smile, a girl who hides behind a mask. They meet in a mundane suburban shopping mall in a provincial city. Cherry always wears headphones and puts the feelings he cannot utter into his hobby, Japanese haikus. And Smile always wears a mask to conceal her large front teeth, for which she has dental braces. As a popular video star, she streams a video about seeking cuteness.
Oh.
Yeah. We watched the trailer just before coming in here. The style is super cute.
Yes,
It's
hands
very
down,
colourful.
yes.
It's very nice.
I'd recommend it. Look, I mean, this is going to be for free if you're on Netflix as well, worldwide. So.
Yeah. Well, even if you're curious, just check out the trailer because the trailer will hook you.
It looks like the classic story.
It does.
So the start of the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And then they're like, oh, no, I have to move away. And I was like,
what
here
a
we go.
surprise.
Yes, but what are they going to do? Because that's a classic dilemma, but there are many answers to that question.
See, there's anime series, a beautiful one called Tsukimo, I think it was, but translates as The Moon's So Beautiful, that traditional Japanese poem about, offhandedly telling someone they're beautiful by saying the moon itself is beautiful when you're gazing at it with them.
Yes.
So it's
that comic.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, the stars are beautiful tonight. You know what else is beautiful? What? All Might.
But look, this that series had a really beautiful story about boy meets girl in school, the first sort of love thing, ending with her having to leave or he having to leave the town because his family was moving away. Same principle, and then reconnects them later on in the credits, which is really cute.
Oh.
But I think this will be a very similar thing where we'll watch it and we'll be like, oh no, they're going to have to go their separate ways, and there'll be a big declaration of love or something at some point.
Yeah.
I think I actually know exactly what scene that is in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then he'll have to go or she'll have to go the next day, and I think it'll be. I'm not going to say it's going to be groundbreaking.
No.
It'll probably be fairly predictable,
but it's fun to experience those things again.
It looks fun.
Yes.
And I think that's the key thing. Like, the character design's cute, and the premise is cute, and it's PG. So.
And you're cute.
Oh. I'm trying to find Japanese words to say.
They're giving each other smoochy eyes over the table, by the way.
Jelly? They're jelly?
No, I'm good.
It's a romance episode. We need to do romance.
Bromance.
That's another episode
entirely.
entirely.
That is another episode entirely. We need
Actually,
to
that wouldn't be a bad topic.
It would not be a bad topic. Gurren Lagann will be in there. And we'll all be crying.
Yes.
Okay, that is where we're going to wrap up the news, and that does, of course, mean where we need to leave the episode, so let's head on out.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
That will be where we're going to leave things for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Next time, a new anime season is on the horizon. It is upon us. And so that, of course, means we have to give a season in review and say what we actually enjoyed.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Yeah.
But it also means we've got to break out the swim trunks because it's the summer season.
It is the summer season.
Oh.
And that means we need to tell you about what's actually worth checking out in our humble opinions.
What's hot and what's not.
The sun.
Yes.
The beach.
Which comes out
in summer. Ah! Can you tell we're recording this at 11 at night? Now, if you have enjoyed what you've heard, goodness gracious, hit that subscribe button and join us for future episodes. We also do have a YouTube edition of this podcast and dedicated videos on our channel. You can find a link in this episode's description if you want to check them out. And if you'd like to support the channel, we also have a Patreon. I did mention we'd come back to this. You can subscribe to that if you like. We share extra content such as episode outtakes, bits of us talking before the mics go live, which is not true because the mics are live.
Always.
24/7.
Always.
Yeah.
Live Kawaii-Fi.
You can hear our trash talking prior to this gold.
Yeah, the solid gold.
Well, if you sign up
chocolate gold
soon, you get to hear today's episode, which was... We went absolutely ham before the episode. It went for a while.
The internet kept dropping out. It was shocking. But you can join us over there. We have video extras, show updates as well. And if you can afford to support us, it'd be greatly appreciated. However, if you can't, that's fine as well. You can join the Kawaii-Fi community over on our social media channels. We share breaking news, memes, videos, and anything else that kind of pops up that relates to the anime world. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. And you can find all of that if you go to kawaii-fi.com.au.
Oh, nice convenient location.
Nice and convenient location. I love Linktree. It's very helpful in that regard. You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time,
watch some anime!